this is Kris Degioia, CEO of WTF MultiMedia and founder of CSIawareness.com. You are listening to The Statement Show with Zach and Terry. Get ready to make a statement.
From the Night Shift Crew Studios in the DC metro area, this is The Statement Show. The lights are on.
Hello, everybody. It's Tony Todd. You're listening to The Statement Show with Zach and Terry.
Howdy, this is Michael Hawk, and you're listening to Zach and Terry and The Statement Show.
Hey, guys. It's Ivonica Gabba of Macabre Theater, and you're listening to Terry and Zach on The Statement Show.
Hey, this is your Lithakira Kurt Angle, and you're listening to The Statement Show with Zach and Terry. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
I'm Jim Harold from the Paranormal Podcast, but there's nothing to be afraid of because you're listening to The Statement Show with Zach and Terry.
Welcome back to another edition of The Statement Show. I'm Terry James.
And I'm Zach Chahy, and you are listening to the podcast that fits in no category. Tonight, our guest, Kris Degioia, self-proclaimed female version of Tony Stark. She is the CEO of WTF MultiMedia, former vice president of sales at Google, and her story, a cautionary tale, one of the biggest federal cyber-stalking cases to date in U.S. history. Soon to become public in April of this year, we welcome Kris to The Statement Show.
Hey, Kris, how are you?
I am just fabulous, guys. How are you?
Good. Doing great. Now that we're like a year older after trying to figure out Zach figuring your last name out, huh?
Oh,
goodness gracious.
Oh, come on. Degioia. Degioia. See, I got it. Degioia.
You got it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Here's a little something, Kris. Me and you, we've got something, one thing in common, and that's, I'm sure, with the Georgia roots there. I like my Atlanta Falcons. I'm sure growing up in Georgia, you probably like Atlanta Falcons. At least I'm hoping so. The Braves, you know.
Of course, yeah.
I'm hoping so. However, you started talking to me back and forth, and you were saying that, you know, Georgia has the greatest country music stars. And you might be living somewhere where they would be a little bit more.
Well, you got to think about the most recent ones that came out within the past couple of years.
You're only going recent. You're only going recent. Because you're not going to tell me that anybody's better than Johnny Cash, right?
Nah, well, George Jones.
George Jones, right. You know, I mean, we can keep on Kenny Chesney, so on and so forth. I mean, but
Kenny Chesney's a sellout. Listen
to you. Stop that.
I'm not a big Kenny. I'm not the hugest country music fan, but to be all honest, before I got married, I didn't listen to any country music. But my wife has broadened my horizons, so I like Toby Keith. I'm a big Blake Shelton fan. That's probably my biggest one there. I just like his music mostly. It just kind of appeals to me. But I've been to learn
to appreciate country music, I guess whenever I moved to Nashville, I never really realized, until I moved to Nashville, I should say, what goes, like, there's songwriters behind it, of course, duh. But some of the songs that have always resonated with me, I went back and I was thinking, I was like, damn, whoever wrote that song was fucked up. Like, what in the world was going on in their life?
You're right.
Well, I was never.
So it like put a whole new perspective on it for me. I'm like, because now whenever I hear songs that really resonate with me, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, who wrote that song? Like, I want to know like what they were going through.
Well, give us a couple of your favorites. Who are the ones that stand out for you that you listen to the most? Do you think?
I like Maggie Rose. She is actually one of her songs she released to put on the CSI Awareness website.
Okay.
That song basically it's finding yourself without anyone else after you've been through a tragedy.
Okay.
That song, of course, gotta drop some Travis Tritt.
Of course.
I'm Gonna Be Somebody. Love that song. Who can I go to?
You better be going to the Zac Brown band. You better be going there.
Oh, I got some stories about that.
Please do. We're all ears.
I remember in college, some of my friends bought an old school bus, right? And they fixed it up and pimped it out, and it was called the Big Red Bus. And we would ride in it to see Zac Brown play, like in Chattanooga. I'm actually from Dalton, Georgia, so Chattanooga is not that far. But during the summers, we would take the big red bus and everybody would sign it. I'm talking about doing keg stands, going down the interstate like fucking idiots. And and Zach Brown was one of the first ones to sign the bus. So it became known as the big red bus or the Zach Brown bus. And I actually talked to one of my friends not that long ago that bought the bus. I'm like, whatever happened to the big red bus? He said, it got towed that one night. We were shit-faced and got put in, and he was like, and we couldn't pay to get it out, so it just sat there. I'm like, do you have any idea how much that bus would be worth right now? And he was like, yeah, but Chris, we were broke college kids. So it's funny because I seriously saw him play in front of 7 people before. Wow. And now whenever he comes into town, he'll always text, or his wife will shoot a text like, hey, do you want us to get you backstage passes? And I'm like, no, I want to see you play in front of thousands, hundred thousands of people, you know?
Yes.
So Zach Brown, definitely, probably my favorite song by him is the Toes in the Water, Ass in the Sand.
Of course.
That is a great song.
Great song. Yeah.
It's
fun. I love Brantley Gilbert, and there's some songs that I have by him and Luke Bryan that they never recorded. So why I have them, I'm not sure. But
I saw Brantley Gilbert.
I don't know why they never recorded them, but they're good. So maybe one day they'll get put out. But
Brantley Gilbert's, we saw him in concert. He actually opened up for, of course, he's a big country star. I can't even think of his name. We went and saw him over at the Lube Center in the Jiffy Lube Center up in Virginia. But
yeah, he if y'all ever heard the song Dirt Road Anthem, the one that they sold to Jason Aldean, and then heard the original version by him and Colt Ford, it is like black and white. Like Dirt Road Anthem, like you can download it, you can YouTube it. The original version is badass with him and Colt Ford. 'Cause Colt Ford, you know, he's a rapper, country rapper, but
right, sure.
His feelings in it is so much different, and like Jason Aldean changes the words in it that mean a lot in it too.
And what's it called? What's the song called?
Dirt Road Anthem.
Dirt Road Anthem. Okay.
Yeah. Y'all gotta listen to that one. You want to talk about chilling to some George Jones, and it's good.
I know when we were talking.
Who's the best version, Brantley or Jason?
No, but Brantley Gilbert and Colt Ford, they wrote the song together, and Colt raps and Brantley sings the chorus of it.
Okay.
And then they sold that one to Jason Aldean, and then Brantley sold The Best of Me to Jason Aldean. And if you listen to Brantley's version, it is a lot better also. Like, it's just certain things that Brantley had in it. Like, for example, Brantley had in one part of it stepping over my beers as I walked out the door, and I think Jason Aldean changed it to stepping over my suitcases, and I'm like, that's the whole point, is the beers with the alcohol. Like, he's a coward. Like, why did you do that? But I get it. Like, they got to change it. So.
They do.
But yeah, the original versions of them, they're good.
Sure. I mean, you know what? I mean, honestly, I could sit here and talk country music and or music in general with you probably all night.
Yeah, but that ain't why y'all got me on the phone.
You know, I mean, with the amount of emails that we have,
we want to cover most of them.
Y'all got any, to be honest.
And none of them country music, you know? So, but obviously, okay, so you've got quite the following, but you know, with our fans, you know, there may be quite a few that don't know who you are. So give us a little bit of background about, just give us a little background about yourself there.
Well, like I said, I was born and raised in Georgia. I went to the University of Georgia, and I ran cross country and did gymnastics for 15 years. And whenever I was recruited from Google right out of college, lived in Mountain View, California for a while, lived at the New York office, the London office for a while, until I became a mom, life happens, and so I left and started my own firm, WTF MultiMedia, focusing on social media marketing. And in the interim of me leaving Google to start my own company, because it's a 2-year notice whenever you leave Google. It's not like a 2-week. Like, literally, it takes you 2 to 3 years to leave.
Is that written in a contract, or is it just you can't?
No, it's not written anywhere. It's just that's how it is. Whenever you've been there, I was there for 10 years, that I had to train people to take over the accounts I had. There was a lot of people that didn't want anyone else to handle their marketing, and those happened to be the ones that came over with me. So, and they're still with me to this day. Thank you. And so that was one of the things. So it took a while, but in the middle of it, I became a victim of cyber stalking. And about a 3-year-long battle, I finally have my life back. And it's like the Garth Brooks song, I'm learning to live again, guys.
Yeah. That's, obviously one of the major reasons that we wanted to have you on the show, that the cyber stalking is huge, and that was a majority of our emails. A lot of them sort of were the same, but yet different. And I think it's because it was a majority of females that were giving us emails, and we have one from Lisa Byers. And she says that, wondering if you were going to talk about, how you caught your stalker. Basically because as a mother to 3, she's, and her kids are always on social media. She wants to learn as much about the topic of cyber stalking as possible. So, are you able to talk about that?
I will give you a disclaimer right now. There is some things I cannot say.
Sure.
Until it is released to the public.
Mm-hmm.
That is not my call at all. If
Absolutely.
it was up to me, I'd be blasting every single thing I can out to the world. But then again, I don't want to be in federal lockdown.
Understood.
So,
well, I tell you what,
even
just
though it's my story, I don't get it.
You can say as much as that you can.
But look at this way. You can still come on the show if you're in the federal pen. You just call someone of those payphones. We'll take the collect call.
Yeah. Y'all asses better come be visiting me with a bag full of some good drugs or something.
I'll play my guitar to country music for you. How about that?
Oh, that would be so sweet. But how about y'all just wait another month and then I can tell you everything.
That sounds good.
No, in my case, social media had nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the common misconception with cyber stalking is I wasn't on any dating sites. I had a Facebook from college that I hadn't even used in like 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole, basically if someone wants to cyber stalk you, they're going to cyber stalk you. It doesn't matter if you're avid on social media or not. So that kind of blew everybody's theory about does it make you more vulnerable to become a victim? Yes. But in the long run, in my case, it had absolutely nothing to do with me being on social media. So that with what I did to with my stalker being caught, it was, at the beginning, it started out as emails, being actually text messages sent to me through emails. And at the beginning, I thought it was just someone that had the wrong number, this or that. And then I realized it was the text messages coming from my AT&T email account. So it looked like I was sending these to myself. And I was like, what is going on? But still brushed it off. Here I am, a person that worked at Google. You'd think I would have put 2 and 2 together. For the first 6 months, I didn't even realize what was going on. And then I started getting emails from 6 different accounts. And I had no idea if it was a guy or a girl or both. Because they were so off the wall, from talking about, if I wanted to go shopping with them, to talking about, just somebody that I dated a long time ago fucking their girlfriend or their husband or some shit. It was so crazy and off the wall. Yeah. I had no idea what was going on. And then they actually brought up my son. And that's whenever, and it was too much. This person knew too much about my son. That made me flip my switches and actually get in my technical mode. And what I did was, you can trace anyone's email account unless they know what they're doing. And whenever I went in to do a reverse email search, I found out that they were using a loopback server. And basically, a loopback server makes anyone it makes your emails untraceable. and anyone can use it, but not too many people know what it is or how to implement it. So whenever I realized that was going on, I realized that it was a whole new ball game.
Mm-hmm.
And I filed a couple of local police reports, and after like 30 of those failed ones, I almost gave up because half of the emails are text, then they became into text. The person just, like, for example, I was on the phone talking to someone about getting my son a dog, and we were in New York at the time, and whenever we came back home, there was a $2,000 Yorkie on my front porch with a note that said, "No, you don't have to look for Knox a dog anymore. I hope you enjoy it." And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to, like,
God.
Like, I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this dog? Y'all, I had to give it to the cable guy. It took me like a year to get rid of this fucking dog. I did not want
man, this is like Fatal Attraction stuff.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It was that's whenever I got on LinkedIn, to be totally honest, and I was like, all right, who the fuck am I connected with that's Fed or TBI or anyone that can help me? And I just started sending out emails. And thank God I had one guy from the TBI that we had met a couple of times, but just at events. And I ended up talking to him that day, and he was like, you would be surprised. He's like, it happens more than what you would ever even know. He was like, most people just don't report it, or they stay silent, or this or that. And I'm like, well, I don't care why at the time. I was like, I don't care why they're not reporting it. You know, I want it to stop, and I have no idea who it is. That was the worst part about it. And so he filed with the county that I lived in at the time for the TBI to take the case. And that's whenever it became like a political war. It took a year for the TBI to get my case from my county, my local county. Like, what the fuck is the county going to do with it? They knew they couldn't do anything with it. After 30 failed police attempts, they didn't have the technology to do anything with it. So whenever the TBI finally got a hold of it, they realized that
I'm sorry. Are you saying TBI? Is this like
TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation?
Is that like part of the FBI, or is that just like
every state has like Georgia's the GBI, Tennessee's the TBI. Every state has it, so it's the step before FBI.
Wow.
Okay.
And so what happened? Yeah, so they took it and they found out that my phone had been hacked. And this was back before any of the cell phone software was out there to where you didn't have to have the person's phone in your possession at any point in time. So what my stalker did, he had actually coded the software that he used to hack my phone and then was selling it dark web for like $15,000 a pop.
Wow.
And, whenever they figured out he hacked my phone, that's whenever the feds came in. So the FBI came in, once they figured out that my phone was hacked for various different reasons. And once they came in, everything started to unravel, but it got worse. It was a catch-22 with this guy. Mm-hmm. If I stopped responding to him, it got worse. If I did respond to him, it got worse. So like I'm saying, it was a catch-22. Every single day of my life, he would send me a text message from a burner phone. Like, one day I was grocery shopping before I went to pick up my son, and I got a text message saying, "What's taking you so long? You have to pick up your son from school. You better hurry up."
Wow.
And I swear to God, where is Lifetime? I say it every single day of my life. Where the fuck is Lifetime? Because I felt like I was living every single Lifetime movie ever made, all in one.
This sounds like one of them Dateline specials.
The Publix parking lot looking in car windows.
Right.
And even at Easter, the TBI had to follow me to the Georgia line, and then the GBI followed me to my damn uncle's house to make sure I was safe. And it was for Easter. And my grandfather was even like, all right, but how much money? Like, what's it going to take to make this go away? You know, my uncle said, money can't make this go away. You know, like nothing can make this go away. We just have to let the process handle it. So they changed my name. I was deleted. My birth certificate, everything. I was deleted, gone 4 times from the world. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
I never existed. And I've said, and I've written articles about my story, like, I don't think anyone knows how that feels until, like, you could experience it. Imagine your whole life, all your accomplishments, your name, everything gone. And it affects your family in so many ways, you know? Like, for my mother, legally, she couldn't say that she had, you know, that I was one of her daughters. Because there was no record of me. And,
my goodness.
Then, he posted an ad on Craigslist with 7 pictures of me with my name. And he found out where they had relocated me at. And the address saying I wanted a rape fantasy. I didn't want to know what time you were coming or your name. Just come in the front door. Then the feds are pulling me and my son out at 2 o'clock in the morning. So whenever he was caught, he was charged with 132 counts of attempted sexual assault. Because that's how many men showed up, and the posting was only up for 8 minutes.
Wow.
Oh, my Lord.
And,
some weird individuals, too. Whew.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, and I learned that I learned a lot through the process. I mean, that's one of their things. If that's one of their things, I mean, I wasn't mad at them because, you know, I was mad at the fact that, you know, the guy tried to have me raped. So,
I mean,
what? Go ahead.
No, that's just the kind of experience that just jades you for life right there. I mean, are you still at a point to where, you know,
no,
can you really ever fully trust someone? I mean, can you ever really fully?
No.
Or that electronic or
like I always say, like, even though my story's over, like, and he will die in federal prison, my son has to go to therapy every single Monday night for what he did to me.
Wow.
How is that fair?
It's not fair.
Somebody tell me how that's fair. It's not fair.
No.
For my 5-year-old son has to remember what happened to me. I'm always like, son, you forget this and that. Like, why do you have to remember that? But it's because it was traumatic. And, I mean, I'm always quadruple checking every single thing. So to me, whenever I started my own firm and focused on social media marketing, it was a way of me getting my life back. Because he took away so much from me. He took away my ability to trust. I'm talking about, I was even scared to check my mail, to go outside and check my mail.
I would imagine, yeah.
And, he took away I became to where I had to be put on medicine, just not for depression, but for anxiety. To this day, I avoid malls. I avoid, anything with big crowds. Otherwise, I gotta take medicine before I go. I got used to always wearing my sunglasses because I didn't know who was stalking me. So it could be pouring down rain and I always have them on. It's just habit. And, I never heard of this man or seen him before ever a day in my life until the day that he was arrested. He had seen me. He had worked for a very well-known company, and that had made me a job offer whenever they found out I was leaving Google. And the CEO was flying in, and I went as a professional courtesy to say no. I don't burn bridges in business. And he was my stalker was head of IT for that company.
Jeez.
And saw me, and he took it to trial. And during the trial, he was pleading the insanity defense, and I almost let him have it. Like, because of the fact that he was seriously convinced that we had went out on these dates and then I'd rejected them, so he did what he did. But still, none of it made sense. Like, no one deserved to be put through what he put me through. So nothing justified his actions as much as he tried to justify it, mental or not. It didn't. And he only took it to trial because he knew that I would have to go to every single bond hearing, every single thing. I would have to show up.
Mm-hmm.
So, the way that he was to answer her question on how he was caught, I would not follow my own advice on how I did it, but, I was always watched, of course, and protected, and like I said, I'm still a runner. I run marathons and blah, 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 but every day I had certain routes that I ran, and I knew after he was coming to my house and leaving more presents and more presents. This is funny. One time he sent my son actually took it to my house. It was a Thomas the Train, one of the roller coaster rider things, this huge thing. And it was around Christmas time, so I thought at first maybe my parents had sent it or something, until I noticed like the box looked like it had been ran over. And there was a piece missing. And I was like, oh, well, maybe it's out in the front yard because it looks like, the box was damaged. And when I was walking back inside, I noticed that I'd missed before. Behind the huge box was a Jason Aldean CD and a 6-pack of Michelob Ultra. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, he's been stalking me for how long? And he thinks that I like Michelob Ultra, which I don't, by the way. And who has a CD player anymore? And if I did, I would not pop in Jason Aldean. It's kind of funny. I was like, I'm calling it. Like, I don't know where the fuck y'all were, but somehow he managed to put more presents on my front door. And I was like, with this gay-ass Jason Aldean CD.
Oh, man.
And Michelob Ultra. Whoever wants it, come get it. But, it was just anything you can think of this man did, he did it. But it was that was one of the things that threw me off. I'm like, how long have you been stalking me and you're giving me, like, you're so off on that one.
Yeah. I mean, I guess being a parent, it's one thing when they do something to you, but then you're starting to add the child into things. And that's when, that Papa Bear and in your case, Mama Bear starts, really raring and becoming a little bit even more pissier, because like you said, what does a 5-year-old have to do with this? Nothing, it's fine.
And he was 3 at the time.
Or 3, right. Fine. He thinks that you're nice looking. He thinks that there's this or that, but what does the child have to do with anything?
Yeah, and I'm the type of person you can always call me whatever you want, say whatever you want about me, do whatever
as well,
you want about me, but do not bring my child into it.
You're right. And what was funny was like when we really kind of knew that you were coming on the show, I did a little bit of homework and got and checked your you had something that came out, I guess that's when you really came out in June of 2015 with the I'm Not Who You Think I Am. And there was something in there that there was a little blurb there that says, 1, I'm not a sex symbol. 2, I do not have men beating down my door. 3, I don't go out and party. 4, it can happen to anyone. 5, I'm not this funny, happy person that I come across. I can be depressed. I am. Would you say that still holds true going on, a year and a half later now? Do you still?
Yes, because I was labeled a sex symbol by him. Because I modeled for forever and I still model now, but, just for the fact for original content. I could use other models, but I don't because this is my life. That's what I used to do, and I'm doing it again. As long as I still got the body to do it. It's not like I'm out there doing like even swimsuit or nude stuff. No, that's not the point of the content. But no, I'm not a sex symbol. I'm not this funny, happy-go-lucky person, but I'm not depressed. That doesn't mean I'm depressed either. Like, I am still just, I'm a mother, and I own a company, and I'm trying to fight a good fight. That's what it comes down to. And I've come to learn that the more I speak the truth on it, the more people want to shut me up about it.
Is that true? Really? More people just want to shut you up about that. Wow.
And it is true. And one of the main things that I've found out is it is true. Whenever you take a stand, you gotta be, because I give other people a voice. Because whenever I was going through it, I started going to like conventions and like all, to try to understand what was being done to me, and realized that there were so many women, men and women, that just stayed silent because they didn't think anyone was going to believe them. And then if they did believe them, then who's going to help them?
Sure.
The local cops? No, because they can't. So in Tennessee now, after my case, that every single law enforcement has to be certified in social media investigation twice a year.
Wow.
So that's one step in the right direction.
We got to figure out how to turn the computer on first, though, right?
Yeah, the one that, and who gets volunteered to teach that class? I'm like, are you kidding me? Seriously? Seriously? But that was one step in the right direction. But also letting people, it's like we've gotten such enormous amount of response since I've started the campaign that I never imagined. I'm talking about 200 to 300 emails a day with people asking for help, telling their stories, asking what they should do. And it's became overwhelming, and it's gotten to the point where, okay, I partnered with Manager ID, which is a company that, helps prevent the cyber stalking by hiding your identity online, from sites that you would never even know it was on there. But now we're working more on the technology side of having basically, once our software is developed, we will be able, anyone that downloads it or has the software, of course it would be free. I'm never trying to make money from helping someone. But basically it catches everything for you. So in the long run, you're walking in and just handing the police your case. And it's donezo. That is the long-term goal in it. But right now, I mean, we've got to go through sentence, we got to go get a bill passed, we got to do this, we got to do that, and I cuss like a sailor, so they're trying to tell me I can't say this and I can't say that, and I'm like, fuck, why?
I get the same thing, trust me.
You know? But the name of my company is WTF MultiMedia. Like, seriously? Like, that was because I am a marketing genius. I like to think in my head, just let me think that. So it made us show up organically. And literally, whenever you live in a world that's constantly changing every 2 minutes, there's a new algorithm, there's something new trending. I mean, we're literally walking around my office going, what the fuck is going on right now? So
it makes you think when you hear the name too, WTF. So you're like, is that what
people ask me all the time,
what does it stand?
What does it mean? I'm like, whatever you want it to mean. Like, if you want it to think what you're thinking it is, then
you should say, you should say, well, it means what the fuck is with this question? What do you think it means?
I tell some people that are like super conservative, I'm like, oh no, it means we talk funny. Because we're from the South. And I remember this one guy said, oh really? No, motherfucker! Like, if you're offended by my company's name, why are you calling them? Like, no. So
what's
but I mean, so that's I guess what I did the corporate world for 10 years. I did the trophy wife. I did this, I did that. So now you either get me or you get mommy mode, which I can promise you are 2 different people. But so to me, I don't know. I guess that's going to be my biggest hurdle and plus, rewrite back around, how I got him caught was I knew that he knew my routes on running. And so I switched it up one day and I put myself out for bait, which was a really stupid move and could have got me killed, but it worked. And I cannot honestly 100% put my hand on the Bible and say that if I hadn't have done that, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. Like, if I hadn't have done that, I don't know if he would have been caught.
Sure.
I don't. So I got mine caught in a way that I would not suggest to others, but that's the truth.
And I mean, I'm sure you've told that story several times to people saying, what works for me may not exactly work for you. And you probably, like you just said, don't even suggest doing it the way you did it. It just so happens, though, that it did work out for you. However, if you hadn't went that route, you might, the way this guy was going, you don't really know what was going to happen.
To the point to where, he had posted those ads on Craigslist. He ended up getting charged with over 3,000 counts felony harassment, 3,000 counts felony stalking. It was I think 134 counts attempted sexual assault. If I said that wrong, sorry earlier. It was over 500 counts of attempted murder.
So it's safe to say he's not going to see the light of day?
No.
Okay.
And then you had to throw in attempted rape also, plus computer fraud, plus this, plus that, and most of them, they kept the felony stalking and harassment and that stuff like state time, to where he would do the big ones federal time, but they made it once he finishes one sentence, he starts another.
Sure.
So they're concurrent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So he'll die.
Actually, yeah, because there are so many things I want to talk to. First of all, thank you for sharing that story. It's absolutely incredible. But obviously we do have other questions that don't have to do with that. So let's start with this one. From Jeffrey says, I have always been a huge fan of Kris. I've watched her growth, especially on Instagram. Any quick tips you can ask her to give? Okay. All right.
Oh, God. There is no quick tips. To me, it's, my growth became because I say whatever the hell I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's funny, then I'll make it funny. And so if it's hashtag something that is completely PG, I'll make some quick content real fast and watermark it with our logo and throw it out there. So my best tips for growth is to always, on Instagram. On Instagram, you gotta use at least 20 to 30 hashtags that are relevant and always tag people in it.
I can't hold my attention that long. I'd be done.
Dude,
What about?
I hate social media, to be honest with y'all, and I tell everybody that.
Mm-hmm.
But for business wise, it works. And the Instagram, I love it.
Would you say?
That
Would you?
only one that gives me inspiration, like it motivates my ass.
Would you say LinkedIn is worth? Is it good for business? 'Cause I see on here it says, please do not waste my time or yours by sending me useless messages that are not business related. I can promise you, I'm not going to date you from a LinkedIn message. Now move on. So I guess what I gotta do is.
It doesn't work. Y'all, I got a whole Pinterest board
You
dedicated
really?
to all the fucking weirdos that send me all these messages every day.
Oh
And
my goodness.
It's like, okay, I find it so funny. I see all these people posting, and I got like over 20,000 connections on LinkedIn. So all these people out there hustling on LinkedIn every day, and here I am sitting here. How many people can I piss off with just one post today? That is my goal on LinkedIn.
Well,
But do you know that every single one of our new clients has came from LinkedIn?
Is that right?
And we have went from 34 clients in the past 2 years to over 800.
Wow.
So,
But they come to us because they know I'm real.
give us a quick synopsis. Give us a quick synopsis. What does your company do? Explain to us what WTF Multimedia is and what you do.
Well, we do every kind of marketing there is under the sun.
Okay.
I don't limit it to just social media marketing. I do not. If a client wants a damn billboard and it makes sense, every client is different. Then, we have the capabilities of doing that. So anything digital, anything commercial wise, anything radio, any kind of marketing under the sun, we do it.
So we bring the statement show to you and you can pump us out there. That's how kind of what you would do.
Y'all need my help, especially y'all are only big on Twitter.
Hey.
Oh,
you're killing me.
Yeah, we're bigger than that. I guarantee you, by the end of the week, at least 2 people would have listened to your podcast. Now, come on.
But
and my mom said I would never amount, Dean.
but you know what, though?
My mother never said that.
We're going to have to do Powerball before we can afford you, though.
Right. Everything that she's saying is right. We are enormous on Twitter. and well, not enormous, but big on Twitter, and everything else is sort of just
we've kind of neglected.
Beginning.
So
yeah, I mean,
that's all y'all focused on. I already did my whole analysis of y'all. That's all y'all focused on was Twitter for a while.
Uh-huh. You're right.
And I was shocked you didn't at least have, an Instagram, because y'all can do Instagram stories and fucking kill it.
Really?
Y'all
Terry's
can kill it with Instagram stories.
Terry's our social media guy. So you listening to this, Terry?
Terry is the Twitter guy. Terry is not
now
the
Terry's going to be Instagram guy. I do the Facebook, but we really, to be honest with you, we just started getting into that. So
Zach is the Facebook guy. Do you see where that is, Chris?
Yeah, like what? I think it was at 36 likes.
Yeah, so we haven't.
What is Michael wanting me to do here with this 36 likes page?
So we are not tapping.
Okay, great. I'll tell you. Okay, Chris. How are we supposed to get? Okay, we're not alone here. There's other people that are probably thinking this very same question. I have 30 or 40 or 50 likes. I want to build bigger and better on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. Let's start with Facebook. How do we get?
Hard, guys. Facebook is hard.
That's how I feel. Twitter's easy. Twitter's easy.
The more admins you have on there, invite until you get carpal tunnel. Invite, and then you got to post the right engaging content. And I'm talking about the rule of thumb is to post 5 things that it ain't got shit to do with y'all or what you do, because it doesn't matter what you like. It doesn't matter what I like. It's what your fans are going to like and what they're going to share. So, for example, let's just use LinkedIn. If I like something of y'all's and share it on my LinkedIn, boom, it goes out to 20,000 people that's never even fucking heard of you before.
I'm just saying that I'm gonna give you a little bit of virtual nod here, a little virtual elbow, so you can do that for me, right? You can whatever it is that you can do on LinkedIn, because I'm gonna be real with you here. We literally we started the podcast, decided this is what we wanted to do, and social media was just something that was just part of it. Hey, we need to get our, you know what I mean? Sure. It was just one of those things. And I knew absolutely, positively nothing about Twitter. Never been on it, never even really dealt with it, didn't know anyone on it. And I just began, and then that's how it started, and now there's 23,000 followers or whatever. But with all that being said, I don't know the first thing about it. For all I know, Twitter could be going by the wayside. Is Twitter a thing still? I mean,
like I said,
oh my God, do not even ask me that. It's so funny. One of my clients, which I don't really mention who my clients are too much, but this one I can. They're Charity Bomb. And, it's actually a really good organization, but This Is Us, hashtag This Is Us was trending the other night. And I just made some content real fast and threw it up there, and it got over 600 retweets and all this stuff. And he texted me the next day. He was like, that was a phenomenal posting. Me and my wife love that show. And I'm like, what show? He's like, This Is Us is a show. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know. I don't even know what half the shit is that's trending. I just look at the numbers behind it and just throw something in on it, because my life revolves around SpongeBob and shit. So I don't know about any TV shows or.
Come on now, I'm a SpongeBob fan too.
So you're asking the wrong person. But with Twitter, Twitter is you want to know how you can. The best way to start trending on Twitter is to blast Comcast with something funny. Blast Comcast with something funny, and I'm telling you, every single time I've trended on Twitter, it's because of those reasons. I had Bob Saget even join in on one of them. And then I trended longer than Bill Cosby did. I'm not kidding you. And I'm like, why am I trending for that? That's the wrong one. I've always wanted to trend, but now I'm trending because I blasted Comcast. Got me out of my contract.
Blast Comcast. I just wrote that down. I'm going to do it when we get off the show. I'm just going to blast Comcast for no apparent reason.
Yeah, but problem is I have.
How to legalize. Or how to stop the crime on drugs. First, legalize it everywhere. 2, make it to where you have to buy it through Comcast customer service.
Oh, Jesus.
That would end the war on drugs.
Oh, man.
And make it legal. And take Comcast down, too. So, it was pretty funny, and I guess it deserved to be trended, but still.
So are you saying that, like, right now we should probably be starting to head towards Instagram versus Twitter? That's what you're saying?
Well, you've got to move. Like, you cannot be big on just one platform, guys.
Mm-hmm.
You are a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Any company, you can't be just big on one platform. Especially, I mean, somebody asked me about Snapchat the other day. Now, if we're talking like 6 months or a year to now, and I'm Snapchatting, one of y'all drive down here and hit me, because I'm not Snapchatting. I think it's stupid.
Right.
But the other ones, yes, with everything, especially with Instagram. Instagram's owned by Facebook, but it's a lot easier to get followers and to grow on Instagram than it is Twitter, because the hashtags mean more and you're not limited to the characters.
Oh, okay.
So
well, I've been telling them I'm a big tech podcast person. I listen to a lot of tech podcasts, and I know kind of the news that's going on. And Twitter, they haven't made a profit in 14 quarters. So,
well,
they're
Twitter though is the only ones, guys, where you can actually talk to somebody.
Yeah,
agreed.
And you got Bill, and you got Trump, who's making it famous, so he's toning it down a little.
Even more
so.
so.
Oh my God! Like, I'm non-political, because in my world that's always been the one. I can't talk about religion on social media. Like, my clients can't either. Like, and I can't talk about politics. You just can't talk about those things. It's like the rule of thumb.
Well, politics and religion.
Marketing.
Because everybody has their own view, and they don't want. And the minute you say something that's different from theirs, they feel passionate about something. They can't, and if they don't agree with you, then it's kind of like a clashing of attitudes or.
Oh yeah, and then you get categorized as like a blah 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 fan or this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially with my cyber stalking, like someone actually had the audacity to send me a message on LinkedIn not that long, just this week, saying, "Hey Kris, I heard you were a call girl. How much?" And I was like, is that supposed to be a motherfucking joke? Like, who the fuck are you? And called up one of my clients, who is one of my best friends. Because this guy was in Philly. My client's in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, do you know this guy? And he said, no. I said, I'm going to send you a screenshot of what he just sent me. Long story short, the guy ends up calling me and apologizing to me and trying to say it was based off one of my posts about Trump. And I'm like, motherfucker, why are you calling me to give me excuses? I'm non-political. I don't ever post anything that's political. So, what's really going on? And he was like, well, with your cyber stalking and this and that. I'm like, oh, so that means that I'm political?
Oh, jeez.
So that means you can call me a prostitute? You dumbass. Like, I will put you out of business. I wish I should say his name right now. But
Don't do that, because I would have to cut it.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel someone else should be taking her.
Right. So, yeah, stay away from the politics. But with Instagram, guys, you could be doing the same thing you're doing on Twitter, and you're not limited with the characters. And with the more hashtags you could throw in, like, you need to be throwing in hashtag Fran Drescher, hashtag the WWE guy that my sister would probably bust a nut over if she ever met. Like, I'm not kidding you. She's like huge WWE. Like, I had to get her and her fiance the WWE belts for Christmas. And I was like, I cannot believe I'm buying these on Amazon right now. Like,
we pride ourselves on interviewing anybody, any topic, within reason, of course. And then, I mean, obviously, you've seen we've done porn stars. We've done from porn stars of Fran Drescher to Kurt Angle, Olympic gold medalist, one of my personal favorites, by the way.
Yeah, if y'all were throwing in those hashtags on Instagram, y'all would kill it on Instagram.
So with Instagram, is that something like you just are they like you just invite friends like Facebook, or is it just like Twitter to a degree where
you understand like
people?
No. With Instagram, okay. If you start an Instagram account and you have a Facebook account, it'll automatically notify your friends that you're on Instagram.
Okay.
And then if you do the sync your contacts, it'll show up to, everyone in your phone book contacts that you're on Instagram for them to follow you. But, no, I would choose like the top 50 people you want to follow.
Well, you're number one at this point. You know that, right, Kris? You're the number one. You're the number one person we're following right now. You get that?
Yeah.
Right?
So far it's you.
I'm going, like, literally when this podcast is over, I'm going to follow you.
You're going to be like the first person we're following. Hint, hint.
You are number one.
It's funny because I think I know who that Jeffrey guy is because he reached out and asked me for some advice like a month ago, and I gave him like that advice. I was like, like my name has like a lot of like my hashtag, my name has a lot of posts behind it. I was like, I don't care if you want to use my name to throw it in there, like the hashtag wise. And like 2 weeks later, he sent me a message. He was like, thank you for that. He was like, my following has went up, and I looked and it went up like probably 300% just by posting the right content with the right hashtags. So, and it's all about the hustle and the grind and the luxury. People love that. And if y'all are interviewing celebrities and shit, y'all would kill it.
And shit.
I'm doing shit. I'm definitely going to start an Instagram account tonight. And like I say, you are the very first person we're following. I promise you're the very first person.
You and then Michael Hawk.
And we do have something from, look, I don't know if this name is real. It's as basic as it gets. His name is Bob Jones. I don't know if that's real.
Are you insinuating somebody?
That's Bob.
Oh, so you know Bob.
Yep, that's Bob. He's one of my clients. Yep.
Excellent. All right. Well, Bob Jones, your client, says, I see that you've been posting a sweepstakes-based charity campaign. How can I find out more? I like that. There you go, Bob. That's how you do things.
Wouldn't have anything to do with charity, Bob, would it?
So how do you find out more?
About
charity, Bob.
That fucker. That was a smart move he just did.
I like it. That's what I'm saying. Nice job. Well done, Bob.
Yes.
Yeah, well done, Bob.
Hashtag fucker.
Let him know about that one. He's retarded.
I like it.
It's actually like I turn down clients more than most people. Like, I'm not the marketer that takes on everybody. Let's put it that way. If I don't believe in you or your product or your service, I can't market you. I just can't. It's not going to come out full-hearted, and it's not. You're not going to see an ROI, and I'm not about to waste anybody's money. So, with that being said, Charity Bomb, the way it works is that they basically, it's like almost they give charities and he handpicks the charities. So it's not like any charity can just go sign up, He handpicks the charities and offers everything under the sun to them that most charities can't afford to do, like races or fundraisers or this and that. So to be able to raise money for the nonprofits or the profit. And they also do like camps for children, like grief counseling camps for children that have lost parents. And so, Bob, to answer your question, just go to CharityBomb.com.
I like that. It'd be like, tell us, how can you find out more about the Statement Show? This is Zach from.
Statement Show.
We got a question.
Unless you're on Twitter, you're not going to know about it.
She's fucking killing us.
Oh man,
God.
This is going to be
funny no more.
This is going to be the podcast that never sees the light of day. It's going to come out of the archives.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Here,
I will help y'all.
No. I've got an email right now that I feel like it's not bad. It's just that
is this the Priceline one?
No.
Oh, you got to ask her that one though.
Priceline? Yeah. No, you're going to get to that. That's going to be the last one. I'm saving that one for last because that's a good one. But this one is, I don't know if you know this guy or not. Nick Gomez. Do you know Nick Gomez?
No.
All right, good. Because this might be your chance to get the heat off of us and go on this guy a little bit. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you don't feel like. But anyway, he says, what does a guy have to do to get her to be my mentor? She turns down everyone. A lot of us would like to know why.
Because I cannot For one, my methods are totally unorthodox, and they're out of the box. I mean, you're talking to the person who actually sent Tom Hanks, like a 1930s typewriter, for one of my other clients to get him to be on their podcast, by the way, and it worked.
Really?
Yes.
So what can I say?
It actually worked. He even typed back a letter on it, and it's pretty funny. I have it framed.
Well, I've seen a picture with you and Robert Downey there. What do I gotta send Robert Downey?
I am not what are y'all going off the self-proclaimed female version of Tony Stark from the press? I don't talk to the press. They just go off my LinkedIn and they make it act like they had this whole conversation with me. Well, no, they did not. I am the female version of Tony Stark because I was taking apart computers and putting them back together at 4 years old, and I was the weird kid and the smart one, and I just don't.
Yeah, I took a lot of electronics apart too, but I just never got them back together.
Yeah, right. I'm very good at taking them apart.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't fly around in an Iron Man costume. Not because I don't want to, because, I mean, he hasn't given me one yet.
Oh, there you
go. I mean, if he would, that would be great. I would totally do it. But I'm a huge Marvel geek, too. I'll admit it. I was before I even had my son. Like, I get more excited about some stuff than my son does. I'm always like, we're going to Comic-Con. I'm using my press pass. You're going to get to meet blah, blah, blah. And he's like, Mommy, that's not the Hulk. Because he wasn't in character. And I'm like, yes, it is.
That's all right. That's all right. I try to take my daughter to all kinds of movies, and she just looks at me like I'm a weirdo. I say, look, I need to take you so I don't look stupid. I need you with me. You're my pass.
I remember whenever the Ninja Turtle movies came out a couple of years ago, like, my son was scared of them at the time, and I was like, there's nothing, you do not need to be scared of these turtles. We're going, and you're gonna like it. Yeah, I don't mentor anyone because, for one, I use the knowledge that I learned at Google, and then the 2 years of me been doing this, I cannot explain that. And plus, I mean, I say whatever I want to say, go off the fly with what I do. So, I mean, I don't mentor anyone, not because take it personally, just because, like, I would be a probably shitty ass mentor. Like, you're not going to learn anything from me.
Which, you know what, that's kind of takes us into the very last email that we have.
Oh, yeah, let's hear it. Priceline.
Mentoring might have been out the door with this particular email. So tell me, you know what, this might not even be true, Chris. I don't even know. But this is from Crystal Pardee. You know Crystal?
I've heard the name.
Okay, here we go. So here's how this goes. I was a VP and I was in the meeting we had with WTF Multimedia regarding the handling of social media. Chris actually told the CEO in the middle of the meeting and I will quote, go ahead, can you finish that one, Chris?
Go suck a big black dick.
Oh, my.
Oh, we didn't have that one part in there, but okay.
Well, the black part was not in.
I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I had to say the black part of it, because I don't know. But I did.
And then you walked
suck
out.
A big dick.
Yeah, go suck a big dick. That's right. And it says, and then you walked out. We were all shocked, picking our jaws off the ground. And her assistant said, you said the only thing to her. I asked what could it had possibly been, and that said the response was, you said you could get past her beauty to see the tech side in her. And then her assistant walked out. We were all floored for a few weeks and then realized that girl has some balls. Damn, I had never heard anyone speak to him like that. Fast forward to present day, I have left Priceline and started my own company, and now I know firsthand. Yeah, exactly. That's it. And let's see. Now I know firsthand why that one statement is the wrong thing to say to a woman in the tech world. So many question is, can she give it? So I'm sorry. So my one question is, can she give any advice on to handle situations like that without saying, go suck a dick to one of the biggest CEOs?
I guess I missed it. So what exactly did they say that pissed you off? I didn't catch it.
Okay, I'm not gonna say if it was because after this so-called meeting, their attorneys called me for forever, asking me to please not blast them on social media, and I'm like, why the fuck would I do that? So I had a meeting with a very big corporation, and here's the thing: is that we don't do any advertising whatsoever. My company doesn't. Unless you want to count my stupid ass. Actually, I really do love my content that I post. I really do. As advertising, then boom, that's it. But so if I'm in a meeting, I'm in it because y'all y'all called and y'all set the meeting, you know? Like, y'all flew us out there, you came to us, and so I'm in the meeting. And I'm not in the meeting to sell myself to you. You got to sell yourself to me. Going back to, you know, unless I believe in you and blah, 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 I'm not going to take you on. So sell yourself to me. I'm not going to sell myself to you. I'm not the one that made the meeting.
Right.
And so the thing with women in tech, we're a dying breed. Like, just like even at my jiu-jitsu class a minute ago, one of my partners he was in the tech world. And I said, how many women work for your company? And he said 3. And I was like,
Wow.
Yep, goes to prove my point. It's very hard being a woman in the tech world. It is a man's world, is what it is. And a lot of people think it's easier for women, but it's not. And so in this meeting, he basically said to me in the middle of the meeting, he was like, he stopped me in mid-sentence and he said, well, I just can't get past your long blonde hair and those beautiful green eyes to actually see the techie, geeky side of you. And I was just sat there and I looked at him. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Like, and he has all of my numbers, and my numbers speak for themselves. Like, the numbers can't lie of what I've done for other companies, you know? And I'm just like, you know, what do you want me to do? Dye my hair black, put on fucking homeless clothes, and walk in here with big ass motherfucking glasses on, looking like a fucking emo motherfucking looking bitch, so you will think that I'm geeky or I'm this or I'm that? I was like, no. Go fuck yourself and suck a big.
Yeah, no, I know where you're at. No, I know. Obviously, you've got some things happening. We do not want to hold you any longer, Kris. You have been absolute. Just to kind of make sure that we get everything out there. If you wanna pump anything, you want to throw your websites, throw Instagram, all the other things that we're not on. Do you want to throw your stuff out there?
But we'll be on by the end of the weekend.
Hey,
but we'll definitely be on.
More following, so I need everyone once y'all hear this to make sure that y'all go on Instagram just to see if Terry is actually holding to his word about going to follow me on Instagram. And then if he is, I want everyone to message me to let me know.
Yes, there we go. We'll do that.
Here's a few things I'm taking away from this interview. Immediately after this podcast, I'm blasting Comcast. Okay? Without it. Okay. Number 2, I'm starting an Instagram and I'm following you. First things first, following you. Okay. And the very last thing that I took away from this is that Bob Jones is the smartest person alive right now. I figured these 3 things out.
That was well played.
Absolutely well played. Yes. Yes. Kris, thank you so much for your time. We greatly appreciate everything. Thank you so much.
Of course, if y'all ever have any questions, y'all know how to get a hold of me.
Oh, you know we will.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Thanks,
It's Friday. Go have fun.
You have a great night.
You too. Bye, guys.
So, that was Kris. Oh, man. So, I guess we all know we're going to have an Instagram account going up.
Yeah.
Hey, at least, all right, everybody. We're on Facebook at The Statement Show because I finally created that name. Thank you, Michael Hawk. By the way, thank you. Comcheck. Anyway, Michael Hawk with the hooch. So that kind of gave me the idea when I looked at ours. I am new to Facebook, the whole Facebook thing, and we're just getting rolling with that. So come on, you should follow us. If anybody's listening to this, follow us on Facebook at The Statement Show. So it's, the at symbol, The Statement Show.
In all fairness to us, Zach, we're how many episodes are we in right now? We're not at a ton.
We're in the 30s. No, we're just getting started, but look at our guest lineup. Look at the people we're getting on.
Right. So, give us a little slack, Kris. Come on.
The show's only getting better. So and every person we've had on the show, I've enjoyed. With the exception of maybe 1 or 2, which you'll never know about. So, unless this episode's never put out and archived and is pulled out of the archive 20 years from now after I'm long and dead, probably. But, she was pretty cool. I love that.
I love someone that just comes out and says what they want to say, absolutely no filter. I love that. I think that's just because that's me. I'm that no filter kind of person, and her just saying what she wants to say is absolutely it's refreshing because there's so many. Everybody tries to be correct in every little thing that they say and do, and then finally when someone just says something, you're like, oh no, is she supposed to say that? Yeah. But she did. She doesn't care, and you know what? Hey. I don't know, Zach. I don't know. But I can tell you this. I'm getting an Instagram account tonight.
All right. So everybody's going to listen to us or everybody's going to follow us on Instagram. That's the whole picture thing, man. So I never know. I bet you're going to be the whiz at that one. You already do Twitter and you do YouTube. I do the Facebook. So, you're kind of our marketing genius. So, but yeah, she's right. You know, we need to have more of a presence out there. And I guess that could teach anybody who's out there online that you can't just focus in one area. So
yeah. I think that was the one thing that she drilled home right there.
And that you have to be diligently hitting it 4 or 5 times a day on each platform. It can't be a once a week kind of thing. Because, and it has to be different subjects. It can't be just stuff about you. It has to be something that engages people. So, she
definitely taught us a lot. I would,
Yeah, inspiration.
And like I said at the beginning, I can accept constructive criticism. Not everyone thinks that we're going to do the greatest job in the whole entire world. But, like I said at the beginning, there's a difference between constructive criticism and just going personal. And,
Actually, yeah. So, no, we do have a limit to the questions.
Right.
If we feel the questions aren't tasteful or if we don't think it's going to be insulting to the guest. So, and long story short, it's our show. So, I'll say whatever the hell I want to say, and if I don't like the question, it ain't never going to get on there. So that's pretty much how it is. It's an anything goes show, but it's our anything goes show. And if you listen, that's just how it is. But we're trying to put stuff out there you want to hear. And I don't think certain things are things you really care about. I really don't think that's the goal of the show. So we're trying to be entertaining. And like I said, we're getting better. We're not professionals, but we're getting better.
We did have a lot of great questions, though. It just seemed like one especially just went over. It went out of bounds, and that's just something that we can't do.
So I do want to say we appreciate all the questions we got. I'm sorry we couldn't get to them all. But we do appreciate all the questions that we did get. We thank Kris for coming on The Statement Show. Remember, at Facebook, at The Statement Show, you can go and follow us on iTunes, leave a comment for any of the shows. Past shows include Stanton Freeman, UFOologist. What's some of the other, gold medalists? Yeah, Fran Drescher, Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. We've had Lillian Garcia from the WWE. So, yeah.
Michael Hawk?
Yeah, Michael Hawk, Green Beret, kick ass. Yeah, so listen to some of our past shows and if you're into the adult content, go to thestatementshow.com. There's a little tab there right on the front page says After Dark. That's where we have a little bit more of the risque, if you will.
Podcast, So, I mean,
our website, of course, thestatementshow.com. So if you want to email us, you can go to thestatementshow.com. There's all the links to our shows, all the guests that we've had, soon to be sponsorships on there you can click on. And then obviously we're going to be on Instagram soon. So I don't have a handle for you, but that's to come. And you got to let Kris know if we're on there. So to see if we followed her advice. So that's all that's all on Terry. You heard it. It's all Terry. So if it's not on there, it's Terry's fault.
By the time this podcast comes out, I'm promising you we will have an Instagram account, and then you're going to follow us on it. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on all of them. Come on. And I'm going to tell you, to be honest with you, Zach will tell you, we absolutely love interacting with all of our fans. We do. We love it. I try to get back to everyone. I really do. And I know Zach does as much as we can. I promise you, if, you leave something good, great. If you leave something bad, you feel like we need to do something different, great. And especially if there's guests that you want us to interview, hey, send them along. We love suggestions.
Sure. We'll do the best we can. No promises. Not everybody wants to come on our show, and we get a lot more interest than you think. So we have some future guests coming on, people we're working on. I'd rather not say right now because, until you get a confirmation, you never know for sure. So, yeah. But we're looking forward to some of the guests we're having on. I'm really excited. The show's just growing. So, any constructive criticism, I'd love it. That, on a great note, I'm just going to leave it out. We're going to be on Instagram. We're at The Statement Show on Facebook, YouTube, thestatementshow.com. Listen for future episodes. Listen to all of our past episodes. Terry, that's it for me, man. It's been a hell of a Friday night, and the lights are out.
See ya.
By the end of the week, at least 2 people would have listened to your podcast. Now, come on.
Tell some people that are like super conservative, I'm like, oh no, it means we talk funny. Multimedia, because we're from the South. And I remember this one guy said, oh really? No, motherfucker! Like, if you're offended by my company's name, why are you calling out Michelob Ultra? And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, he's been stalking me for how long? And he thinks that I like Michelob Ultra, which I don't, by the way. And
Our guest tonight, self-proclaimed. No, wait, sorry. Degioia. Got it.
When we go again?
take 4.
Yes, Terry, go for it.
Yep.